With an over 40-year tradition of excellence and service, Athens Orthopedic Clinic has been a leader in the sports community. An experienced medical team makes Athens Orthopedic Clinic the best choice for orthopedic care. We utilize state-of-the-art equipment and offer services such as MRI, physical and occupational therapy, urgent care center, and ambulatory surgical center. We provide the highest quality care while maintaining a personalized touch. Athens Orthopedic Clinic, serving Georgia athletes for over 40 years and a proud supporter of the Gymdogs.
Hi, my name is Banks. Lauren Johnson, how well do you speak Spanish?
Thanks for the question, Banks. Spanish is my major. I speak Spanish fluently, and I even studied in Spain last summer. Gracias. Adios.
Welcome back to the Georgia GymDog Show, looking at beam and floor now as we continue talking about Senior Day 2010 for the Georgia GymDogs, now the number 4 team in the country. Looking at this beam set, it's been a story for so long now. We don't talk about it each week, and for good reason, but without Shayla Worley, there have been a number of names that have been floated out there. It's no one gymnast that is going to be able to replace a loss like that, but I think one of the pleasant surprises of the second half of 2010 has been the emergence of Krista Tonella. She looks as solid as a rock right now on beam. 9.8, 9.8, 9.9, 9.85, her last 4 scores on beam. Right there in that midpoint of the rotation. It seems like exactly what Georgia needs.
She has. She's stepped up when she's had to, and we've always known, I mean, when we recruited her, we knew that this was a kid that could contribute in big ways for us, and it's been a little bit of a slow process getting her there, but she has done a great job over the last really month and a half on that event, and then recently has been able to get it going on bars for us too, and so that's great because, you know, when you have somebody down, I told her that, you know, that as soon as Shayla got hurt, I said, you got to understand, one person's adversity is another person's opportunity. You know, you hear those kinds of things a lot, but they are really true. And Krista's done a good job of stepping up and being able to fill some of that for us. And then hopefully if we get Shayla back, then it just gives us even more options.
No doubt about it, and you like to see those special moments on Senior Day. Fitting that Georgia finished with 2 seniors on floor, Grace Taylor going 9.9 and then Courtney McCool going 9.975. Let's take a look at the highlights from the Gymdogs on floor.
Hillary Morrow, Arabian double, beautiful. Excellent execution all the way through this routine. This is probably Hillary's best routine of the year in my book. Round off 1.5, front full, punch front, executed exceptionally well. Hillary really performs this routine. And she comes back to finish with a strong double pike, chest up on the landing, which is excellent. That's what you're looking for. And Hillary's rewarded with a 9.925 for this routine. And I thought it was her best so far this year for sure. Kat Dean getting in the floor lineup, again as the result of Gina getting hurt on vault. Beautiful double pike there at the beginning. Comes back with a round off double full, punch layout, step out. That's 1/10 the bonus as well. You're seeing a lot more teams do that skill. In fact, it's an idea that we pirated from another team. And then a little bit pike down, a little sketchy there on the Rudy there at the end, but really that was the only deduction in the entire routine, and Kat goes 9.9. Cassidy McComb, what I thought was her best routine of the year. Though I don't think the score reflected it as much, that's a huge double pike. This pass here has gotten better and better as the year has gone along. 2.5 punch front right there in the corner where you want it. And here's the triple toe turn that Cassidy does so well. Look at that. I mean, all the way around, perfectly squared. There's her bonus in her dance right there. And I thought it was just beautifully executed. And then she heads into her last pass, round off back handspring, double tuck for another D that she lands incredibly well. Excellent routine all the way around. And I thought a 9.85 was probably a little low for that routine. I'm not sure where the deductions were, but an excellent routine nonetheless. And I told Cassidy, don't worry about scores, just make sure that you focus on the performance. And that was a great performance from Cassidy. Grace Taylor on senior night, her final floor routine in Stegman Coliseum. You see the double toe turn with the leg up to the popa for her dance combination bonus. She starts with a whip through to a double pike, landed excellent, no deduction there whatsoever. Comes back with a double tuck here for her middle pass. And this team in general is getting stronger and stronger on this event that was such a problem for us early in the season. There's Grace, good double tuck. I told her not, she'd been working so hard to do the sticking on floor. I told her not to do that. Her legs were a little fatigued from the last 2 weeks, and I said, don't worry about it, be aggressive. go ahead and lunge. There's no deduction for a controlled lunge like that. And Grace gets ready for her last pass, which is a round off back handspring 2.5 twist with an arabesque right out of it. Very nicely done. Probably the best execution she's had on that last pass this year. Though it's still a little crooked, I think that's probably where the deduction was in this routine. But Grace gets rewarded with a 9.9. And then we go to McCool. And we've grown so accustomed to seeing this kind of performance out of Courtney McCool. But this is, and I've said this 4 times now, I think, but I think this is probably the best routine we've seen out of her this year. Round off back handspring, 2.5 twist, punch front full, stuck. Excellent. You don't do it better than that, ladies and gentlemen. It's just not, you can't do it better than that. Legs completely glued together. And then here's where the biggest improvement on the night came for Courtney. It was on the front handspring, front double full, an E-level pass. Landed very well, very straight. You'd seen her earlier in the year step sideways out of that a little bit as she twisted off the floor. This time she got it up in the air first, landed square, and you see her hold that pose at the end. We've been talking to them about saying to themselves when they finish that last pose, I love this moment before they move, and then walk off the floor. And what a great performance it was for our seniors to finish out on floor the way they did.
The Dismount of the Week brought to you by McDonald's Rich Velvety Hot Chocolate. This week's dismount is Krista Tanella against NC State on Sunday. A back handspring gainer full stuck landing for a 9.85. And that is the Dismount of the Week brought to you by McDonald's.
Drop by drop, pure, refreshing. A trickle becomes a stream, flowing from the source. Refreshing, fresh, pure. In the store or at your door. Millwood Springs.
Countdown to the NC2As brought to you by Millwood Springs, and Alabama holds on to the #1 spot. Georgia moves up 1 spot to #4. Rounding out the top 10 is the University of Michigan as LSU drops out. And that's Countdown to the NC2As brought to you by Millwood Springs.
Welcome back to the Georgia GymDog Show. Coach, the team probably at this point a much-needed week of rest before the SEC Championship on March 27th. But next Thursday, same time, we'll be here on the Georgia GymDog Show, and we'll get to approach this from a little bit different way. We won't be breaking down a meet, but we're going to get to know assistant coach Doug McAvin just a bit better, and we're also going to take a tour of the dorm that the gymnasts stay in at the East Campus Village, which should be a treat.
And that place is amazing. I don't know that there's another place like that in America for on-campus housing for student athletes, and it is. It's a beautiful place, and it's well worth seeing. So hopefully people tune in and get a good view of the way our kids live, and and the convenience of it, and just a great place. But you're right, we do need the rest. I mean, we are 3 meets in 8 days over the last week, and it's time for a little mental rest and a little physical rest.
And we'll also, of course, be previewing the 2010 SEC Championship in Jacksonville, Florida. So all that is next week on the Georgia GymDog Show. That'll wrap up this week's edition. For head coach Jay Clark, I'm Kevin Kopp. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and good night.
The Georgia GymDog Show has been brought to you by Millwood Springs. Millwood Springs from the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Georgia. The 10-0 Booster Club. The 10-0 Booster Club, the official booster club of the Georgia Gymnastics team. Athens Orthopedic Clinic. Athens Orthopedic Clinic, serving Georgia athletes for over 40 years. And by Alpha Factor. Alpha Factor, the official gymnastics apparel worn by the GymDog.